I don't usually make these kinds of videos, but I'm going to. Because I can't sit here any longer and not say anything about the state of Helldivers 2. So before we get into that, make sure you drop a like and a sub to the channel with all notifications turned on so you don't miss any of my content. Okay, first of all, let's all agree that the state of the game is really, really poor. Performance issues, crashing, low player count. I mean, at the time of recording, it was a little over 22k. No patches for weeks at a time. I mean, I think we're on about 4 weeks, something like that. I could be wrong. Between patches. Yet, there is so much wrong with the game. You know, various audio issues, including the silent charges, which has been in there for a long time. The poor audio when you go into the caves, the crackling audio. As I said before, the crashes. And the crazy rupture strain that ended up being so broken they took it out of the game. Even bricking content creators' PCs and probably other people's PCs that we don't know about. I mean, poor Odo had spent, you know, I assume a lot of money on a high-end PC and got it bricked. I mean, I'd be so furious. And of course, Clay Aesthetics had his SSD broken by Helldivers 2. But how bad does a game have to get for a game to brick a PC? How bad, man? The little communication or even radio silence from Arrowhead at times, even when they do communicate, they drop the most irrelevant interview that has ever been made. Literally. But I'll come on to the interview in a bit. And of course, the whole Buzz Lightbeer situation, which again, we'll go into in a bit. I am very, very worried for the game. Really worried. I'm also worried for Arrowhead's future. How much longer are Sony going to allow Arrowhead to keep messing things up? Because ultimately, the intellectual property lives with Sony. In theory, probably won't happen, but in theory, they could just go, bye-bye, Arrowhead, and give it to a different game studio. And it could happen. It could happen. Games have changed studios. Bungie, with Halo, ended up going to Microsoft Studios, etc. So I am very, very worried. When I started making proper content rather than just funny clips from the Lethal Lads, I honestly thought I could cover more, but I've not touched the game in 3 weeks. That's the situation I'm in at the moment. I've not touched it in three weeks, perhaps even 4 now, actually, thinking about it. But I just can't bring myself to play the game because of how things are. Now, I've understood that apparently in the last week or so, it's got better, so it may be that Arrowhead are making changes. But we don't know. We don't know that. We're assuming it is, but we'll see. Now, I am on the lookout for new games. I am on the lookout for new games because I don't think I'm going to be able to just keep continuing with just Helldivers 2. So, watch this space. Don't get me wrong, I love this game. I've got over 1,000 hours, which I know is amateur numbers for some people, but it's not for me. It is probably the game that I have most invested time in. The closest to it would probably be World of Warcraft, and that's been out 10 times longer, right? And with games, you know, such as Ark Raiders just around the corner, Battlefield 6 just came out that I've been playing, that I'm really enjoying, Ghost of Yotai came out the week before. It's a scary time for the game, and the only thing that's keeping pretty much Helldivers in check at the moment is the fact that no decent PvE horde shooters are out. None. So, and even like the propaganda commanders such as Cloudplays, Crazy Mr. Pips, Phase Shifter, probably others, they're all really concerned over the state of the game. I mean, poor Mr. Pips looked completely and utterly defeated on his stream the other day, completely defeated. And they're all just counting down the days until Ark Raiders. So Arrowhead just need to pull their finger out and fix the game. Now, I know it won't happen overnight. I know that. It does take time. I'm a software developer in my normal life, and I know it can take time. But they could avoid a lot of this negative backlash about communication by having clear lines of relevant communication. And I do mean relevant, not wasting our time with what's your favorite memory of the game or what's your favorite flavor of ice cream. That's ridiculous. I said relevant. So coming out and just saying, hey guys, we're having to do a slight overhaul of the engine at this point in this area because of X, Y, and Z. We found that the audio files in this particular area have been corrupted, which is why you're getting poor audio. We'll do something about that. Just little things like that. We're working on this specific set of bugs this week. Keep us in tune. Keep us in chat. Tell us what's going on. But we're not even getting that. Even just as much as, hey guys, we're not going to release a patch this week. The reason is we'd rather have one big patch than 3 smaller patches. I don't personally agree with that. But if that's the way they want to go, they are fully entitled to it. But say something, and say something relevant. And then, of course, to top it all off, they drop the stupidest interview with game director Mikael Eriksson. What a train crash. What an absolute train crash. In such a critical time, this was the worst Q&A they could have done. It was just ridiculous. There was so much they could have done with it. They could have answered the most pressing question in a detailed way and given us the answers we wanted. But instead, we got this.
And that's actually super interesting because a question that keeps coming up is when you're playing, what's your play style? What are you doing? How do you like to get involved?
Yeah.
Really? That's the question that keeps cropping up? Who's asking that question? Who's asking what your loadout is when the game is in such a poor state? I cannot fathom why that question would have been asked in an interview like that. If the game was in a really good spot and there was no bugs and the performance was great, there was no concerns, anything like that, fair enough. That might have been a just question. But at this time, unreal. How disconnected from the situation and your community do you have to be in order to ask such a ridiculous set of questions? I'm utterly stunned by the incompetence of Arrowhead at that point. Okay, let's move on because it is boiling my blood. So let's talk about the whole Lieutenant Buzz Lightbeer situation. As some of you know or may not know, Lieutenant Buzz Lightbeer is a content creator with over 358,000 subscribers on YouTube at the time of recording. He was a propaganda commander and has been recently kicked out of the program. We're still very much getting information about the situation, but this is my take and understanding of what's gone on. So, Buzz made a video. Inside that video, he was reading an article, and in the video, he states that he took the title out of the article, he searched it on YouTube, and these are the results, and screenshotted the top 2 videos, I think it was, something like that. And he states, interesting. Anyway, moving on. That was it. That was quite literally it. Oh, well, I'm led to believe that that's all it was. It might run deeper, but that's the information that's available at the moment. He was then asked by Arrowhead to remove that section of the video. Probably due to one of the content creators complaining. I'm not exactly sure why. It wasn't in bad taste. He wasn't making any statement of anything. He just said, interesting, moving on. And Buzz refused. He said, no, I am not going to take that out. On moral grounds more than anything, Arrowhead should not be trying to moderate his content. It's his channel, his content. He existed way before the Propaganda Commanders, and he will exist way after the Propaganda Commanders ends and Helldivers 2 is done. He does not need to be a Propaganda Commander, right? Let's just face it, he doesn't. Okay? And quite rightfully, all of the OG if you like. The original propaganda commanders have come out in support of Buzz. I know that I've personally seen stuff from Cloud Plays, Phase Shifter, Clay Aesthetics, Crazy Mr. Pips, Thick Fillet, Odo, and I'm sure there's going to be many, many more that are right behind him. And there have been meetings, calls pretty much on a daily basis at this point to try and sort out the situation. I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but at a time of this critical moment is probably the last thing that they needed. It really was. Buzz and the propaganda commanders will be the reason that a lot of players keep playing the game, keep returning to the game. Buzz does not need them. And it seems to me that Arrowhead need Buzz more than Buzz needs them. This is me publicly supporting Buzz. Buzz, you have my full support. You've done the right thing here. Well played and good on you. And hats off and respect to all of the creators that have come out in support of you. I've just listed all of the OG propaganda commanders, but I know that other smaller creators like myself, Lewis Helldiver, Cow Plays, Krennic, all of us are in support of you. So, you know, you've really got the respect and the support of the community, mate. Right, I'm sorry you've not had to, but chose to stick around with such a negative video. It's not really what I wanted to do, but I did feel it necessary in order to address the dire times we are with the game of Helldivers 2. Please comment your views and all your thoughts on anything that I've covered here, because I do like to have those conversations with people. I love to see what people think. Thank you very, very much for watching. And again, please remember to hit that like button and drop the channel a sub. Thank you very much again. And until next time, guys, Pardo out.